Hello everyone, it's Sloth here today with big experiment. I was thinking that what was the great deck before New Capenna? Mono black, right? The control, the Invoke Despairs, the Shambling Ghast and Deadly Disputes, that was really good. And now we have things like Shigeki, Stompler, yeah, Stompler. So yeah, it didn't include a lot of new cards, but I thought that maybe we can just mash those cards together because like the shell for mono black was really strong overall and it provided really good early game, while Shigeki and all this, come back with the graveyard stuff along with Stomper that is really great. Like it's basically 2 for 1 if you have those needed 7 lands. I thought that it might create a really good late game, and Golgari seems like a very solid combination. I actually really enjoyed playing Golgari, and Stomper is one of my favorite cards right now, along Shigeki. So that was the experiment, and I decided to make this deck that pretty much combines those two things, and we don't have like Rolf, we don't have this endgame for mono black except Invoke Despairs, and we substitute it with Shigeki looping. So this is why we have one Bala Ged Recovery, and also we play Agadeem's Awakening, because it really works great with this deck. If you cast it for 6 mana, which is really cheap in this deck, you get Ramp, you get Shigeki, and you get some of the small creatures, depending on what you need. Either Ramp and Treasures and Removal, or just additional card advantage, because this is the deck with Lessons. And I actually remembered about something that I forgot to do throughout the whole video. So that is the final deck that you will see in the description for this video, because we always got a bit too many forests and a bit too little swamps. So this one searches for basic land, so that's fine. Unfortunately, this one goes for forest, but generally you want double lands. We also have Triumph, but it's just a tap land with cycling pretty much in this deck. So the question is, how did this deck do on the Mythic ladder? And if you want this answer, we will go into outro for the first time, and then we will talk how the games went, hopefully after we watched them all. So yeah, about the idea for the deck, like really Topiary Stomper, whatever, this card really changes how you play. First of all, you need to remember about having second forest on turn 3. That's very important with the deck, especially with all the mono black colors. Like you have a lot of 1 mana play for 1 black, and you need to pace them enough that you can play the Stomper on the curve. When you can get Ramp, and we were really unlucky with the land draws, and we were mana screwed a lot, and something I really like about the deck is even if you get mana screwed, like this deck carries lands with them. Even if you don't hit anything, you just force the deck to give you those lands slowly by ramping, and usually you have at least other values, so we can get there. What are the weaknesses for this deck? You definitely need to hit Invoke Despair and Shigeki. And for this reason, we have basic Conjuration. I actually made Lesson Sideboard a bit different than usually. I don't use this card most of the times, but Shigeki is such an important part of this deck that I decided that looking at top 6 cards, if you cannot hit it, it's basically like 6 turns of the draw. And without Shigeki, you cannot do the main stuff for the deck, so we really need this. And we have so many ways to get it, and in the worst case, you get Eyetwitch, you get Shambling Ghast, you get Stomper, you get something, so we are still happy even if you miss. And yeah, Meathook Massacre is also really good. Generally, this is the card that can win you many games, like so many games are just won or lost based on how big Meathook Massacre you can play. And with this deck, with all the ramp, you can ramp with Shigeki, you can ramp with Deadly Dispute as usually in mono black, you can ramp with Topiary Stomper, and you can ramp with Binding. You have so freaking much ramp that it's not uncommon to just cast Meathook for like 10 or something ridiculous, which makes Angels achievable. Because normally if enemy has 1 Valkyrie, you usually cannot hook anymore. And if he has 2 of them, you never can hook. With this deck, you actually can. Because especially if you are on the play, like you can have 8 mana before enemy makes this combo or something like this crazy. And you just Meathook for 6, then Valkyrie dice, then this +2/+2 is not relevant anymore, so it means all the other angels are smaller, suddenly you clear the board. So that's pretty good part about the deck. And yeah, I guess you know the cards. The only really thing that you need to think before you play. Boseiju, because it can create so much pressure to lands, to enchantments, to artifacts, but mostly for enchantments. And sometimes you don't really want to play it. Moment you play it, it's forever out of the game. And if you start casting it, especially with Shigeki on the board, because it's an legendary creature, it means that it's only 1 green for this, and you can get it back with Shigeki and start killing all the enchantments or all the basics. So that's something interesting to keep in mind, and sometimes it makes a difference. Second, Binding of the Old Gods, you need to wait 3 turns before you can get it back with Shigeki, so that's something you need to actually plan for, especially if you play multiples of them, because that's something that happens with this deck. So you need to think when you can get them back and make sure that the turn with full mana is prepared when they are in the graveyard again. And Bala Ged Recovery is something that you really don't want to play as a land. Unless you are sure that you are winning with cards that you have in hand, you shouldn't play it as a land generally. So it's more of a pretty much like a spell than a land, because it's your infinite loop, right? You can get back Shigeki. You cannot back Shigeki with Shigeki because it's legendary, so you need some different card. And you get it for 3 mana. It's sorcery, unfortunately. But then you get Shigeki, Bala Ged Recovery, and some extra value. So if you invest 4 mana, you can have infinite loop with Shigeki. And that means that you will outvalue any deck that doesn't run like counter spells or kills you. Yeah, so that is the deck. I hope you enjoy it. The games were pretty long, and I think either you will enjoy them or hate them. I did a bit of both. So I got a bit salty while playing this deck, because yeah, you will see why, and I hope you understand. But I still think it's quite entertaining. Tell me in the comments if you liked it, and really thank you for watching. If you enjoyed those decks, remember to subscribe, and we'll try to make more of them. And if you are curious if the experiment worked and what I feel about this deck list, let's go into the outro after watching the games. No cheating. Okay, going first with pretty decent hand. This is actually what we want for this deck. We cannot play Deadly Dispute on curve. That's unfortunate, but we can kill the enemy creature when he plays it, and then make sure that next turn we have stuff. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Let's attack. How much do we want Shigeki? I don't think we really need it. We can start as a mono black deck and go into forest slowly. Okay, and I really think we just sacrifice it. We have very good play with Bloodchief first, and let's hope we get forest. Finally. Let's go for science. It's generally really good in this deck. And we did not get it. So what is the play here? I definitely want to kill this stuff. That's awkward. Like, I don't want to go into next swamp, but you know what? We are actually oh, we don't have enough swamps. Okay. That's something I should probably know. Man, that was the most awkward draw in the history. I think we just kill it with treasure then. So we lose a bit of ramp, but we stabilize mana for the future. And next turn we can use the binding, so I think that was okay. A bit awkward, super awkward, but we are fixing it slowly. So I guess it's binding, right? Because we get back everything with Shigeki. So we don't really need to care about those stuff too much. And when we start ramping and casting the spells, that's where the deck is like really shining. So as long as the board is empty and we are ramping, we should be fine. Like, next turn is Invoke Despair. Like, basically our deck doesn't want to play against counter spells and wants to play against, like, small amounts of strong creatures. Well, you know, we can always Meathook. But I still think we Invoke Despair. Like, it's just better value overall. Yep. Let's get Forest. And I guess... oh man, we cannot play this one. Like, this mana is awkward. So I think we need to include a bit more swamps. Probably I will do it after this game. So we need more black generally because of Invoke Despairs. Do we sweep? Like, we could. Not sure if that's good, to be honest. But you know what? With so much value, let's do it. We don't have legendary creature on board, so Boseiju cannot be cast for 1 mana. Sometimes you have Shigeki, and it actually makes Boseiju 1 green, which is pretty crazy. And let's hope he will play big creature right now. Let's hope. It was unfortunate. If we had enough mana, I would definitely... wow. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities, so they can do it as a part of the effect. Learning experience. We can do it. It's funny because I'm pretty sure he cannot activate the treasures with Yasharn. Sacrifice non-land permanents to activate abilities. Like, this is anti-combo deck. Pretty weird, if you ask me. Man, we are getting pretty much every time 3 Shigekis in top 20 cards. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Shigekis, but it would be great to have them, like, you know, 1 at a time, not 3 in a package. Oh, okay, that's interesting. We can ramp Steam after the Invoke Despair. That's correct. That's correct play by the enemy. This has trample, right? So, first things first. Let's start doing... like, Meathook Massacre will really help with this. I think that he might have multiple of those things. Let's go for black, as we need way more black generally. No need to destroy anything, I think. So we just broke and ramp, and trample will do the same thing as if we didn't. Seems a bit about right. Like, we are at 26, so I'm not super scared yet. And we have a lot of mana, so maybe, like, yeah, we can actually -7, which is pretty insane, because it circumvents the shield counter, because it's not damage. So we can just Meathook everything on board. Yep, unfortunately, this won't work as you would like it to work. And enemies probably just laughing at us, saying, man, like, he thinks he's so smart, but it doesn't work because he doesn't know about the trample. And, well, there is a point to that. Oh, Teleportation Cycle. That's a card that I haven't seen in a while. But you know what? It's not a big problem. Like, we sweep everything anyway, right? And the only problem is that we cannot kill the circle at the same time. Right? How much mana do we have? We can Meathook for 3, 7. Yeah, we lack 1 mana to Boseiju. That's unfortunate. We could also go for the binding. But then we get hit so hard. I don't think we can do it. I don't think we can do it. So let's just go for casual 7 Meathook. This is one of the good parts about the deck before the ramp. Like, Meathook is really better if you can ramp some mana. Like, even 1-2 extra mana just helps so much with this. Okay, let's hope he doesn't have another Titan, because I definitely don't have another Meathook Massacre. Like, anything that's not game winning is fine. Like, you can have Galak Critters, Innkeepers, Yasharns, stopplers. You can pretty much have everything, just not this. And also very good thing that might not be obvious at the first sight. Meathook Massacre is legendary. If you play the second one, the first one goes into the graveyard. You can pretty much cycle them forever. Okay. How does it work really? Okay, so he get... That's nice combo. That's actually a really nice combo. Okay, I've got a plan. How good this plan is, that's another thing. Can we go for Deadly... Man, we can actually just go Deadly Dispute, right? And by Deadly Dispute, I mean, you know, Despair. The all-time favorite card. Let's count. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, so we can only take one card. But you know what? This one card might be enough. We also get to draw... Yeah, we get the token, but teleportation cycle is pretty much the biggest problem for us right now. And see, I knew that the token won't be a problem. Oh, we can play this. You know what, that's actually pretty good. Like, with this deck you always have less mana than you would like. Shigeki is still important. And believe it or not, treasures actually matter in this deck even now, because every treasure is half a card. Yep, definitely blocking, thank you. Man, like, this synergy with Meathook is bigger than you could think. It's not like theoretical chance to do something, you can actually, thanks to this, sweep this turn, and you can sweep every turn with Meathook Massacre. So we go for this, right? We could also just invoke Despair and kill the other thing and just get hit for... You know what? I'm happy with this. Meathook probably is correct choice, but I like drawing cards, man. And I like ramping. Oh, that's interesting choice. I thought that he will leave this one because it was indestructible. Okay. So what would you say about Binding of the Gods? Like, with Shigeki, you never freaking run out of stuff to do. And we will see. There is a chance that we use this treasure. And look, this treasure at what, 13 lands? It actually makes such a big difference, because we can answer perfectly to one card if we care. We can get something at the end step from the graveyard, and with all Shigekis, that's really fine. Oh, please get binding. Oh man, like, are you sure? It seems like an awful play. So we already got the value. Is he really so scared about the land? Like, Meathook Massacre was the right choice probably. Like, now we are just getting Meathook back and winning the game. Like, seems pretty good to me. By the way, we are at 20 life again. Can you imagine, after all of this we were at 20, now at 16, and we will go back to 19? Like, man, this deck and this treasure, like, this treasure is a MVP. Oh, you can scrap all that I said, because it's legendary. Oh, man, I'm such a good player sometimes. So, what exactly are we doing then? That is a thing. Oh man, in times like this I really think like I suck. So let's go invoke Despair then, so we can get this value and see what's up. We will still win, but a bit less effective method than I would hope for. Yeah, so basically you can target non-legendary, but it's also for like enchantments and stuff, so yeah, I missed that completely. So I think we go for 3 cards at the end step, and that should be enough to just... Like, look how many we can cast. 1, 2... We can cast nearly 3 disputes. Oh man, enemy is doing his best. That's actually a really good draw. Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit scared. But problem for the enemy is that he doesn't have enchantments and he doesn't have planewalkers. And oh, okay, smart cookie, smart cookie. That's a very good choice, because we could just take double despair and just make sure that this is dead. Okay, game on. We are still in pretty good position, but definitely a bit worse than we could be if he has chosen like the Rhino. Okay, despair, that's for sure. What do we want after despair? Like, we could just go Binding and Bloodchief. So we get rid of everything? That's how it works, right? Seems pretty good. Like, this is one of the reasons that I really like this deck, and with this we can have infinite cycle. So we are doing this like this. So kill this, then go Binding. Actually, it doesn't matter which order do we do it, but you know, it's fun this way, and that's what we are here for, fun. And we still have 4 mana. Oh man, that's freaking ridiculous. And let's go Shambling Ghast, because I still need some more mana. I don't feel satisfied with the amounts of mana that we have. Isn't it funny? Enemy is at 7 mana, we are at 4, 5, 6, 7, and another 7. We have double enemy mana. I hope he goes for the bindings. One could dream. Oh man, that feels so dirty. Like, enemy didn't have much chance here. Oh man, Agadeem's Awakening, my favorite card here. So sweet. Man, like this Meathook, I didn't shine in this commentary too much. It would be so great if we could do it like this. So, sure, I need more ramp, definitely. Yes, please do. Like, Agadeem Awakening is really good here. Do we want to give him the chance? Let's give him just a small chance and show the domination. So, Topiary Stomper, Shigeki, and I think Eyetwitch is pretty good. Man, like, it's insane, it's only 6 mana. It's better mascots. Yeah, we don't have lands in the deck anymore. Oh man. And I would probably want my Shigeki back. Can I have my Shigeki back? And this can... Thank you! It is really nice, I agree. And I will attack. Honestly, at this point I'm not playing like my A game. Not like it was A game, but yeah. He can double block it and that's fine. Like, enemy is at 9, so I want to pressure him. But basically with this you have infinite loop, and you can get back Meathook Massacres as well. I think there is no way to keep it like over and over, but maybe it is, I'm not sure. And yeah, those are real mascots for Golgari. A flying creature, a small land creature, and a bigger creature. Okay, so how much mana do we have? 3, 6, 7, 8. So we can take 3 back, or just do it like this. Not much of a difference. Like, look how much value we have. Enemy just is drowned in our value every single turn. Let's go for mascots, because it's cheap spell that we can cast many of them. And he draws a card. Like, honestly, I don't think enemy has any chance. Like, even with like a Mire score or something, we can just get back everything we want. Like, probably the correct play is just to take double despair. And you know what? I think enemy had enough. I think we should just be a civilized person and do something that we should do long time ago. You know, a cheap 6 mana followed by cheap 5 mana play and a cheap another 5 mana play. Like, look at how much this deck does. I want him to know that it was good game, but I don't want to be mean. He was a pretty smart guy overall. Smarter than us, really. Like, the Meathook play was not smart. Okay, that's actually quite decent. Let's hope we don't miss land draw. Like, all we need is forest. And given that we always keep drawing them instead of swamps, that shouldn't be a problem, right? Whose ball is better? Not sure. That's a hard choice. That's definitely not the land we wanted, but we'll go with this. Man, like, we really want untapped land. But if not, we just ramp with Shigeki, I guess, so it's not the worst. And of course, it's Angers. So, we have two choices. We can either try to slow him down, or just ramp ourselves with Shigeki and try to Meathook Massacre. You see how much confidence I have in our land draws. Believe or not, this might matter. In case he plays Angels up to 26. And like, we are not drawing anything. This is a bit ridiculous. So I guess we get our land drops from our 26 land deck from ramp cards, which is definitely not how we want to play against Angels. You actually need both land drops and ramp in order to Meathook Massacre them. So, okay, that's good. That's actually really good. And I think we pay 3 life, because then we can ramp more. Can we? It's green, so no, we can't. We cannot play both. Shambling Ghast. We cannot really kill it in any way right now. So I think the play is this. It gets so much easier when you can ramp with everything. Okay, not perfect, but at least we have something. Lisa, of course. And of course they have perfectly 27. No freaking idea why they didn't attack. Why the hell would you not attack? Do they really believe we would hit our land drop? It's pretty insane. Of course we never hit our land drop, except like ramp cards. You're crazy. Okay, so if we go for Meathook, we should play Shigeki probably, but I just want to get rid of the big Angels. Which one we kill? Probably like this, right? Man, this just sucks. When you miss land drops, there's no good way to do it. We attack next turn. And hope... Oh man, that was a big mistake. And yeah, I know that if we attack, he loses some HP. But I think it's quite obvious what our deck can have to kill him. Like, if we Meathook this board, we are pretty happy about the situation, right? And I think we can. If we hit a land drop. Like, of course we don't. Of course we don't. How could you ever hit a land drop in 26 land deck? Man, it's freaking frustrating. It's actually frustrating. So like, I can kill one of the creatures, but then I'm dead. And Valkyrie will be something that's left. We have what, 3, 7, 8 mana. So we can Meathook for 6 because we never hit our land drops. Can you imagine, by the way, that even with all those missed land drops, we are nearly hooking the Angel board? But actually this won't give +2/+2, so it's actually fine. It's actually fine. We deal more damage this way. Man, I'm triggered a bit, so I'm not playing so good, but it should be enough. So actually, we just need to Meathook for 6, right? So for everything that we have, it's a bit ridiculous. By the way, every single game I have 3 Shigekis in top 20 in cards. Like every game I have 20 cards and 3 Shigekis in hand. I don't know how it's even possible. Like I like Shigeki, but you know, it's great when I have other cards as well. So 1, 2, we can get 2 cards back, right? So probably two bindings or something like this. Yeah. This Rampage will be problematic for a bit, but we have a lot of ways to deal with this. Okay, let's see how many Valkyries he will hit, because it will for sure be Valkyrie. Just look at this, it will be a Valkyrie. Here.
May your peace.
4/6 Valkyrie with shield. Oh, finally. Finally. And I'm not salty about angels. I'm definitely not. Okay. Imagine if we hit Despair here. Yeah, Invoke Despair, that would be such a good game, but we will go from there. So I think Binding, and honestly I think second Binding is fine. Like, it's not perfect, but we really need 4 Shigeki. Top 22 cards, that's how you draw. Oh man. The trigger is real. Like, at least we kill Elspeth.
This still isn't as bad as dying.
Like, what can we do other than this? Like, I guess we could play double Shigeki or something stupid like this. It feels super bad. Especially, yeah, it just feels super bad. This ramp helps us only in 2 turns. How we deal with this guy? Like, probably not like this. I think we play 1 Shigeki. Actually, maybe 1 card from the grave. Yeah, 1 card from the graveyard is better than ramping 1 land. Man, it feels like such a battle to get our freaking lands with so much ramp in the deck. Yep, we need Meathook. Or at least something that kills stuff. Okay, at 9. So let's draw something cool. What is cool? Like Bloodchief first? That's pretty good here. It's very mana efficient at least. And we are really bottlenecked for mana for the full game. This is a pain, because it's not easy to kill it. Okay. Man, like when we start ramping with all those bindings, it feels just so much better. I guess we have to live with this guy for a moment. Let's kill the Valkyrie. Okay. The fact that we are healing is really helpful as well. Now we get rid of this guy, or girl, probably. Rampage doesn't really do much so far, but it will be a problem at some point. And now the question, do we keep the Hagra Mauling? Like, he has no basics, right? What will we get next turn? We have 4, 8, 9 mana, so the difference between 9 and 10 is pretty huge. But I still think 1 removal is okay. The only risk here is that if he plays a basic land, we cannot cast anything, which sucks. And you cannot respond to playing lands, but I hope that's... Oh yes, okay. Good. Good. Much better. What? Oh. Why was it 3 then? Man, I'm stupid. For some reason, I thought he played this one. So why did I? Oh, okay. It was highlighted probably because we could play it. Man, I'm such a bad player. Okay. Yep. Please give me more lands. That would be awesome. And I always leave this one because we can cycle it in the worst case, and this one cannot get cycled if you get through that. We can actually get rid of this with Shambling Ghast. Huh? Huh? Pretty good. Okay. Okay, I think that this play is pretty good. Yeah, amazing, right? Because we can get back Deadly Dispute, and Deadly Dispute kills this guy. So we need 2 mana for Deadly Dispute, and we can return 2 cards with Shigeki while playing this. I will keep it. I'm scared to use it. Because this shielded guy is the biggest problem for us right now. Because of the shield. Man, it's so much better that... wow. Okay. I see. I see. Yeah, so we definitely are drawing cards. That's unfortunate. That's a very good card. I thought they don't really play it. Maybe I should Deadly Dispute in response, but then we show the full plan. Maybe that wasn't the problem. Yeah, probably a mistake. Do we have something better to do then? Infernal, nothing really kills the Warden right now. We need Deadly Dispute. So, we can actually make a treasure. 1, 2. So, Deadly Dispute. And what? Like, I think we just go for more bindings. I like drawing clans. Okay. We need to preserve HP, because we don't have much. So we get rid of the Shambling Ghast. We get 1 damage to the enemy. And honestly, we should kill the Angel. It's more life this way. And 1 treasure is great, but 2 HP is better. Like, we can actually kill the Warden with 3 cards, as crazy as it sounds. Are we actually doing it? I think we are. 1, 2, 3. No, because we don't have untapped land. Oh man, that feels so bad. That feels so bad. I actually should play this Hagra Mauling. If I did, that would be better. Are we done here? I don't think so. We definitely have 1 more turn at least. So I think we need to preserve as much HP as we can. With Meathook we heal quite a bit. Like, to be fair. And I will play this land for the future. Like, honestly, Bloodchief first is pretty good, just because it's cheap. Let's get rid of 1 of them. Yep. If we had second Meathook Massacre, this game would be so easy. But we did not. So Hagra Mauling, right? But we need double removal for next turn, so it's 6 damage. Unfortunately, he might draw a card, but then we can kill it easier. By the way, also no Invoke Despair. Like, man, the draws with this deck, like, they weren't awesome so far. Like, we usually get all Shigekis, no Despair, and no Meathooks. Like, I have no idea how it's possible, but that seems to be the case. And always mana screwed somehow. It's really good that we have so much ramp, so basically we can force lands even if we get mana screwed, but it puts us so behind for the rest of the game that we always play from behind. Okay, okay. Yep, that's the card that I also have 4 in my deck. That's really good for him. But in 2 turns we can get back the bindings. Eyetwitch is actually pretty good. Okay, that's the last land, I guess. That was a forest? Okay, good to know. So, what is the idea? Like, we have to get rid of this warden because it's really irritating. And we need 1 turn for Shigeki. Man. But on the other hand, like, Hagra Mauling right now looks much better, right? If we played it as a land, that could be an issue. And Eyetwitch trades really well with the token, which is also pretty sweet. And we had to do it first, so we don't need to sacrifice the Eyetwitch. Like, maybe we could sacrifice it and play the pests or something, I guess. Sure. Man, that was your last card. That's actually pretty good for us. Also, we got the trigger, so if he did it at the start of the turn, we would be pretty much at 1 HP. So I'm pretty happy he didn't. Let's see those crazy top decks, because for some reason I think that he will just play something that gets back him in the game. See? Freaking always. Like, freaking always. I have no idea how they do it. Like, at this point, when enemy has 1 card to draw, I'm so scared always, because it's always a good card. It's always freaking a good card. Like, man, we were winning this right now so much. We just needed 1 single turn to play Shigeki and draw 7 cards from the graveyard and win. And right now we are again playing from behind. Somehow. But at least we have so much mana, and hopefully we can kill with 1 binding Valkyrie, with 2nd binding Meathook Massacre, of course in the reversed order, and maybe then next turn enemy won't top deck something extremely crazy, because like our Shigeki is not as good as his top decks. Okay, that's actually really important. This is really important choice. So like we could also go for mascots. But to be honest, like, containment bridge is so important here. So if we play mascots, we have 7 here, so we are left with 6 mana. We can go Shigeki for 2. Man, it doesn't look great. The problem is with this Meathook, like, man, enemy has just a bit of everything. If we meet a mascot, then we can get rid of those, and we are at 1 HP. Like, 1 HP is enough, right? And then we get back with Shigeki or this stuff. I would love to get this. Like, if we play this, it's... No, yeah, it's 2 or less, so we create Pest. So we get the blocker here. You know what, it's actually, I think, best. Man, it's so hard choice, like, it's really hard. But this way we get blocker here, we gain life, and we get rid of Meathook Massacre, which is such a big problem. So we are making good setup for the next turn. And yeah, slowly maybe, but surely, I hope. Now we need to kill the Valkyrie. How much mana do we have? 6, 9. 9. We need 4 for the binding, right? What is the cheapest removal we have? Like, we could go for Infernal Grasp. Do we have some life gain? No, we don't. So I don't think we can. Man, like, I think we need to sacrifice it just for the binding to kill the Valkyrie, which super sucks. I'm counting, just give me a second. So this is 6 for binding and Shigeki, and we can... No, we can actually get more cards, right? What I'm saying. So we go for 2, and we have 1 card, 2 card. Okay, so we can go for 2 cards. If I would count longer, but I know, guys, you are not happy about this already, so let's make it a bit faster. Oh, and also when this dies, we need to sacrifice the token. But we need some value. What is the value here? I think we go for Eyetwitch. Can you freaking imagine? We are going for the Eyetwitch. And don't worry, this will be smaller when we kill the Valkyrie. So actually this nets out the card. I'm taking Eyetwitch because it's the same as Mascot Exhibition. And Mascot Exhibition is pretty good card. Man, this freaking game is crazy. Like, actually crazy. And every single turn we are using every single mana that we have. Yep. Here goes the Pest. And we don't even have one mana spare. That's the power of treasures with this deck. And just look at it. His top deck will be freaking awesome and he will come back with this. Yep, and now this is our top decks. Now we will start drawing lands. Look at this stuff. What we have in the deck. Agadeem's Awakening. Bala Ged Recovery. 4 Invoke Despairs. We are Invoke Despair deck, by the way. 3 Meathook Massacres. Like, even Boseiju. And we will draw this part. Those 6 lands are waiting for us. Oh man, that has been the saltiest game I ever played. Like, literally, the saltiest. This will be Vanishing Verse. Watch this. This will be freaking Vanishing Verse. No chance that he just draws a land and plays it. No freaking chance. He has priority, but it might be Field of Ruin, jokes aside. See? Never a dead card. He actually can choose from every card in his whole gameplay. Legion Angel. That's how you play Magic. Can you imagine? Can you freaking imagine? He drew all of this faster than we could draw our, like, Despair. Soon, I guess all of them are at the end, right? That's the only way. How many Shigekis we used? 4 of them. That sucks. We were forced to use everything before we even started playing. Oh man, what am I ever playing? I am just going crazy mode right now. I'm just going crazy mode. Okay, I have a smart plan. Let's attack. Maybe enemy won't see the Death Touch. Okay, he does. And you will see that we actually kill the creature. We will somehow kill this angel. To feel smart. Joke, joke. Enemy has freaking all. Like, he's drawing from the top. Like, he's not doing anything, he's just drawing from the top. Oh man, maybe you should let him and we get additional card, but... Oh, look! Invoke Despair. During first turn we actually died. Oh my god, like... What was this game? What was this game? That's what happens when you don't have skill in Magic and you don't draw correct cards. By the way, 7 of those 24 cards are 3 Meathook Massacres and 4 Despairs. Okay, 3 Despairs. Yeah, good game. Well, that's not exactly what we want, but if we draw one single forest, this will be very good hand. And we are definitely drawing one, right? Right? Or Eyetwitch, or anything. We have 26 lands. Oh man, that just became worse. Okay, but we hit the land. It's tap land, but it's okay. Like, you know, we could draw the tap land at turn 1, or start with it and draw the pathway, but I'm okay with this. Okay, so what we are doing, I think we should kill Redain, right? But first of all, we probably should start ramping. Like, we need lands as soon as possible. Mostly black ones. Talia is problem, but we'll see how he plays. You know what? This actually can ramp us. Like, if we draw land here... No, okay. Because if we pay too high X, then it goes into Redain, right? And of course we didn't draw anything else. But, man, this is actually pretty good. This is actually a good draw. We don't really ramp. Man, we actually missed the land drop. But we can kill Talia with -1 and block Qatar. So, you know, we actually ramp a bit. Not in a way we would like to, but if we get to 1 Meathook, it should be enough. Okay, that's smart. We could even just kill Redain. What can they have? Like, they didn't attack. You know what? I'm doing this. He might have another Redain, but if that's the case, just play it. Like, then we are in the same situation that last turn. Okay. So, okay. What can it be? Valorous stance won't protect anything. So I think we can sneak 1 damage, right? No, because he can block it in a bad way, I guess. Oh, but then we -1 this. I think it's fine. It's fine. The real Mythic player is the one that sneaks this 1 damage from the Shambling Ghast. Truly. So basically, he should block with Qatar, but then we minus it, so he cannot. If he blocks with anything else, he loses the Talia, and he doesn't know that we have Meathook, and this will happen anyway. And we even ramp with the Stompler, which is amazing. One of the favorite parts. So that's why I was a bit weirded that he wanted to steal it, because let's be honest, like, this card is really good to be like replayed. So, much better situation. We cleared everything and we have Invoke Despair. And this Topiary Stomper is something we can start using as a, you know, bait. So I think the game is over, right? It honestly seems pretty over right now. I prefer Despair because it lets us stabilize and get card draws and so on. And we really need to switch lands. Probably the version that you watched in the intro is already with lands adjusted. So don't worry. Don't worry. And yeah, I think that's it for the game. One of the... not sure what he had, but he played it pretty weirdly, in my personal opinion. Right now we have second Meathook and so many cards that we can basically remove everything one by one. And to show our domination, we will do it like this. Smork, what will you say about our Stomper, Dino? Oh man, if that's the case, I'm really happy to help. For this reason we probably should play it later, but honestly, I'm super happy with this. So basically he traded everything for this particular Dino, and we have more of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if he scoops right now. And I want to float, but probably the correct play would be to not play one of them, like not Eyetwitch, and then hold that Deadly Dispute. But at this rate I don't think we can lose anymore. So I'm playing a bit recklessly. Man, like, I like the Stomper. If we didn't have it, enemy would have so much more time to do stuff. Right now he cannot really block anything. This kills him, this kills him. And we will go... oh, right. -1. So enemy doesn't really develop, and he's getting so much damage. Like, next turn he dies, right? And I will keep the land. It seems pretty sweet. So, beware. If he targets the Eyetwitch, and I think he will,
One who harms my people must contend with me.
we Deadly Dispute. in the old-fashioned way. When you can stabilize the game with one hook, it's so much easier overall. I will take basic Conjuration. It's basically what we need, right? Now we go for Takenuma, and we go for Shigeki pretty much. Yep, and now we get Shigeki. And now we have infinite value for the rest of the game. This... yeah, like, this is the same. Like, he will create the token, so he can block next turn. So when we cannot kill him this turn, it's pretty much the same. Let's play Agadeem for 3. Agadeem is really good in this deck. And let's go for Shambling Ghast. It seemed to work pretty nicely in the game. And I like having more lands. Yep, we have last forest, so let's take it. And let's go for Shambling Ghast to make sure that next turn enemy is dead. He can create the cave, attack, but that's pretty much it. Maybe he has a sweeper. Like, if he has sweeper, I guess he has some chance. Not to win, but to save some dignity, let's say. Okay, but in the start that was pretty close game, to be honest. Okay, so that is way better. We can start. I don't think we need Shambling Ghast because we don't have Deadly Dispute. So I think we might even play Hagra Mauling as a first round of the game. Just to know, keep it going. Like, if you are seeing Binding, it means that you really want to hit those 4 lands. Especially with like Meathook Massacre and stuff. So let's just do it. Generally with this deck you always have something to do with the lands. So it's very rare situation when you are flooded. Like, as long as you have Shigeki, man, like, it's so hard to draw Despair with this deck. Okay, but for multiple games I couldn't like really draw that Invoke Despair at all, which is weird because we have 4 of them, and I'm saying like top 30 or 40 cards from the top, not a single Despair. It's hard to play a Despair deck if you don't hit your main card. So do we Binding? Yeah, I think we do, because it's mostly for ramp. And yeah, we just want the full value. Of course we could just Shambling Ghast, but that's not it. And creature on the board means that Invoke Despair doesn't work as it should, so I'm still fine. Let's go for this one as always. So we have 3 swamps, we need one more, or we need to kill the Shambling Ghast. So let's attack, see what's up. Pretty obvious bait. Okay, you don't want, we will do it ourselves. And let's play land. So we have a lot of mana, we need treasure to cast Invoke Despair. Probably I should switch this land, I always forget. With this one you want like a bit more swamps than forests. Even though this dino gets forests, right? And like, let's see, I think we should draw a land at some point. I guess I was wrong. We don't. Okay, weird. So let's see if he blocks this time with Death Touch. Probably not. Actually, this hurts him when he cannot heal. So, let's see what you have. Like, there is a chance for Meathook Massacre. It will be hard for him to get so high on HP. Oh. Sure. No Valkyrie for you. And you want to do it now, so you don't have to sacrifice anything. And you know what? Actually, with this type of cards, I don't extremely mind even. Like, we can sacrifice stuff. And let's go for Eyetwitch, so we can get some good cards, like Mascot Exhibition, I believe. We could also go for Shigeki. Mascots is a bit safer bet. you know what? We are playing for Shigeki. That's what the deck is about, and that's what we will do. Because it's really good to search for Shigeki, and if not, you just find a dino or something, so that's still fine. Elspeth is problematic because it's basically 2 cards in one, or even 3 cards in one, because if you need to remove shield without like --, it's 2 cards that you need to spend. And they always get Valkyrie. They always get the Valkyrie. Will they protect Elspeth when we attack? I think they won't. But I will try to bait. I think the reward of him misplaying is better. Oh? Oh? Do we get it? Like, wasting shield for 1 damage has no sense. Okay. Unfortunately, he didn't take the bait. This can really snowball very quickly. So let's start with basic Conjuration and see what's up. Okay, and we got our main card for the matchup, which is amazing. Yep, and now our bluff is called. And honestly, I want Agadeem's Awakening. Like, mana is great as well. It's always pretty hard call, to be honest. Like, you want both Agadeem Awakening and mana, super hard with this deck. Very nice. Oh, give me all those. When I play lands, I feel so fulfilled in my life. So we can get 3 cards at the end step. Or we can just get rid of everything, which honestly seems like a much better idea. Let's attack. See what's up. If he didn't block before, he probably takes it. And against angels, his life is actually very important for survival. They shouldn't have any way to put counters, I think. Bye. We also don't need to sacrifice anything to the Valkyries. We make a treasure, which will be handy. At some point it will translate to 1 extra card from Shigeki. Man, we have good cards, and we can get back Shigeki with this. It's actually like a loop. So you can cast Agadeem's Awakening to get Shigeki back. And you can cast Shigeki to get Agadeem's Awakening. Okay, this is pretty good as well. Probably great to have this hit some angels, but you know, I'm happy with this, and we can play Boseiju easily. So we can get 2 cards, right? And then we get Agadeem's Awakening. So we probably get 2 Invoke Despairs, and we should win. And can we cast them for black mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Worst case, we just play Awakening as a land, pay 3, because he will have this token, and I think we just double despair him. We could also Bloodchief first. Okay, so we will do everything, and it might still not be enough. Okay, enemy is fighting. He is the fighter. 1, 2. See? Translated to additional. 2 additional card, and not any card. Like, we are on 19, so we are happy about this anyway. Let's start. And you know what? Let's start with this one. Because it's the cheap one, so if they sacrifice this, we cannot Bloodchief this one without paying way too much mana. And you also do it for here and for cards. Oh man, like, I love ramping. The more I ramp, the more happy person I am. Swamps, yes, perfect. Lands, perfect. Ghasts, okay. That was okay one. Okay, that's really good. So we probably play Agadeem. I would really like Stomper to die before we do it, so we can get more ramp. I think we have still 1 swamp, right? If not, we just Invoke Despair and, you know, do the stuff.
I've learned much
That's a good play by the enemy. Let's see if he... Like, he can sacrifice loyalty when he attacks, which, to be honest, would be good choice. This is not legendary, so he wouldn't be able to play. And we cannot really block anyway, right? In my opinion, he should get one card from the Emperor. He has only one card. Oh man, Shigeki is really good. Especially he sees the Invoke Despair, so he knows what will happen. I think we killed the Emperor. And we give him the option to save it, because then he needs to sacrifice at least one creature. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. What do we have in the graveyard? Like, we could just go for like something like Binding. We have a lot of HP still. So for starters, let's just see what we get to draw. So it will be probably Samurai and the Emperor and the card. So he's at 8. Oh, that's a good draw. That's a really good draw. Do we have a flyer? Yes, we do. So we have Perfect Curve. Let's get those sweet, sweet creatures. This Shigeki and Eyetwitch. Man, like, Agadeem Awakening is just killing it in this deck. And here comes our last swamp. Man, I feel so good. The more mana we have, the better. Like, you can clearly see with this deck you are always mana starved. Even at 20 mana you are just mana starved. Because theoretically we could just get all of those cards back and cast them at the same time, so we can spend like 60 mana in one turn. So we are always mana starved in this deck. Which is actually something I really like. Normally when you get flooded you cannot translate it into value, and with this deck you can play lands every turn safely for the full game and know that they will get back to you in some way. If he attacks with everything, that's not great, because then we trade for shield. So I think he will draw a card, right? That's the only explanation. Yep. Man, that seems like a horrible idea. I have no idea why he did it. So instead of drawing card, he just didn't draw a card. Like, okay, that's fine, I guess. Like, Necrotic Fumes is really good here. We can get rid of stuff pretty easily. We could just start casting all the bad things. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. We want to remove this one and exile this one. It means that enemy doesn't really have much board. Now we attack with Stomper. Enemy is at 3, probably. I don't think he should block. Like, if he blocks, he's falling behind so much that it doesn't matter anyway. Extremely good for us. Man, if you trade everything for this guy, I'm happy. I won't even cast Dispute, because I want more cards with Shigeki. And I think that's all she wrote. Well, man, that was intense game. Top decks, man. Like, their top decks are freaking crazy. It's not like we won't win, but the fact that... I think that is top deck, right? Crazy. I don't remember last time when they drew land, when they didn't have cards in hand. Okay. Let's cast this and make him scoop. So 8, we can get 4 cards. And finally end this crazy game. Agadeem Awakening. And I guess Binding is fine. Yep. And can we do it finally? Man, this game. Oh man, this deck is a real grinder. Okay, and we are in the outro. So thank you for everyone that didn't cheat and scroll to outro from the start and watch the game actually. And don't worry, if you cheated, I still appreciate you are here. So basically, what I have found about this deck, and you probably noticed it as well if you watch the games, Invoke Despair. This is such a pillar for this deck that if you don't hit this card, your deck doesn't work. Like, sure, you can do a lot of stuff, but it's not the same level of effectiveness if you have this Invoke Despair or if you don't. And one of the most important stuff that isn't obvious at the first choice. Invoke Despair is not only great card, but it's actually so packed in value. You have basically 3 removal cards in one card, even if like you don't draw any cards. And you can get the same result by playing, for example, 3 Binding of the Old Gods. But you need 3 cards and 12 mana. And you can really feel the difference between when we hit Despair and when we don't. Because Shigeki, in order to answer multiple threats, usually Planeswalker and a creature, sometimes enchantment as well. You suddenly need to channel for 8, for like 3 Binding of the Old Gods, then spend 12 mana, and then you are set for 1 turn. And you can get the same result by channeling it for 4, which is pretty cheap in this deck, and casting 1 Despair. And you can clearly see in the games how we struggled with all this mana cost if we didn't have Despair. And suddenly, if you can at the end step just channel for 6 mana, and like we had 6 mana very often, and just get double Invoke Despair and cast them both in the same turn, that's usually a game-winning move. Not the same if you cast Binding of the Old Gods. And for the deck itself, it was an experiment, and to be honest, I don't think it passed. This deck is good, and this deck has its moments, but first of all, it's really like sketchy. If you miss Invoke Despair, it doesn't work. If you miss Shigeki, it doesn't really work. If you get mana screwed, you are super behind. If you get some creatures but no Deadly Dispute, it's not great fit. Maybe we should play 4 of them, but you still need removal. Like in current meta, you need removal against Enders. It's not like enough that you ramp, because Meathook Massacre won't hit the Enders if they like go crazy mode. So Deadly Dispute doesn't really answer the board anymore, as it was before, when you could just Meathook at some point and reset the board and get all this value in the meantime. So I don't really like it. We played different Golgari decks, and to be honest, I found that version much stronger. This one didn't have great results. We barely like tried to achieve 50%, and I think we were below even. So I'm not recommending this deck, but it was fun. It was frustrating when you don't hit red cards. So there's that. So for anyone that is thinking about playing this deck, if you have the cards, go for it, and I think you will have quite a lot of fun. And for everyone that wants to be a bit more competitive, either go for the other deck on the channel, or just, get something else than Golgari. I think there are better colors right now in the meta. And Topiary Stomper, it's actually an amazing card in my opinion. I really like playing it. And it feels so much value, like it is actually a big threat. 4/4 with Vigilance means that you finish the game very quickly while also defending, and you don't really lose any like aggression while defending fully. So that's really something that consider. So yeah, interesting idea, but I don't think it's worth like going competitive unless you are going for fun. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the videos.